Welcome to the Balliemeanoch Pump Storage Hydro Community Engagement presentation. A typical pump storage scheme consists of a lower and upper reservoir. During pumping mode, using surplus electricity, water is pumped from the lower reservoir to the upper reservoir. Then in generating mode, water is discharged from the upper reservoir through the powerhouse to the lower reservoir. Electricity is generated by water flowing through hydroelectric turbines in the powerhouse, which is then exported to the grid. The Balliemeanoch Pump Storage Scheme is located between Loch Awe and Inverary, as indicated by the black circle showing the head pond location. For this scheme, we will be utilising Loch Awe as the tail pond and constructing a new head pond on the Balliemeanoch estate. The site will be accessed via two routes, one in the north and one in the south. The northern route will be used for access and egress, and the southern route used for egress only. Both routes will have access from the A819 with general construction traffic coming from the east via the A83, connecting to the A819 via a private track behind Inverary Castle. Larger loads, such as abnormal loads, will be brought to site via Loch Fyne and connect to the A819 via a private track behind Inverary. Balliemeanoch Pump Storage Hydro Scheme will have an installed capacity of up to 1500 megawatts and be able to run for approximately 24 hours, resulting in a storage capacity of approximately 35,400 megawatt hours. To date, we have carried out various surveys including ornithology, landscape and visual, ecology, aquatic, water environment, heritage, arboriculture, and bat roost. Key constraints map has been produced showing any environmental constraints that may be considered, further details of which can be found on the website. Further surveys still to be undertaken include traffic and transport, noise and vibration, flood risk, and further water resource assessments and peat depth surveys. The Balliemeanoch scheme has evolved over time. Initially, at design iteration 1, there was one embankment on the south side of the head pond. To maximise capacity, in design iteration 2, a second and third embankment were added on the north and east side of the head pond. After reviewing the natural topography of the site, we have been able to remove the eastern embankment, allowing for reduced construction works and an increase in the head pond storage volume. The general arrangement of the above-ground infrastructure submitted at scoping is shown here. Design changes, including the embankment changes shown on the previous slide, and other associated with access tracks have been implemented since scoping. The access tracks have been refined with the track on the west of the head pond removed and a new track added to the east of the head pond to reduce associated earthworks and landscape and visual impacts. We have also looked at the possibility of rerouting the B480 adjacent to the inlet-outlet structure on the banks of Loch Awe. This is the below-ground infrastructure arrangement as submitted at scoping. As you can see, some changes have been implemented since scoping. In particular, the cable tunnel positioning and the location of the surge shaft, in line with the head pond changes. This and the above-ground infrastructure will be further refined as we continue through the environmental impact assessment process. Here is a photo of the Megget Reservoir in the Borders in Scotland. This provides a possible arrangement that the largest embankment at Balliemeanoch could look like. As you can see, this is a terraced arrangement that has been grassed. As you can also see, this has a system in place that allows water to flow through to feed the rivers in the catchment below, which will also be the case at Balliemeanoch to serve the Balliemeanoch River. An example of the power cavern is shown here. This is a photo of a power cavern in New Zealand, with the turbines located in the floor of the power cavern, a gantry crane above, and the exposed rock on the walls. This is a similar size of power cavern that we anticipate being required at Balliemeanoch. The indicative construction programme shows a 6-year working period, with the majority of the works happening between the start of Year 2 and the end of Year 4. The scoping report was submitted in June last year, and we have had initial discussions with the Energy Consents Unit, Argyll and Bute Council, SEPA, Nature Scot, and Historic Environment Scotland. We are hoping to make a full Section 36 application before the end of 2023. This is a flowchart showing the application process for a Section 36. We are currently at Stage 3, at the pre-application stage, and we are hoping to go through the check gate and full submission of the EIA later this year. Regarding community engagement, all comments, thoughts, input, and information is welcome from local communities on, but not limited to, accessibility, recreation routes, private water supplies, water use, and tourism. Local communities can, at any time, engage with the development through ILI's website as well as through the dedicated email address shown here. Thank you very much for listening.